Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from at this hour. Today is the 28th of September 2021. And this morning, I'm going to be discussing a very important topic that I have been asked to speak about because I get this a lot whenever I'm having a conversation with a lot of traders that are coming into the scene. It has to do with consistency in the market. I keep getting this question: how did you become so consistent in the market? And you become so consistent in the market? And this morning, I'm just going to be speaking on that and also sharing my own idea and how I became this consistent in the market, because I keep on saying this. Knowledge is power. Once you are aware of what not to do, then you see yourself tend to drift and draft into that particular area. So this morning I'm just going to be advising you and also be speaking to you in regards to that particular topic, because you see, I've always said this: don't confuse consistency in the market with profitability. A lot of people come into the market with the mind and with the aim of being, I'm going to the market so I can be profitable, so I can be profitable, so I can be profitable. That's all they are concerned about. But they don't go into the market trying to be consistent in the market. And once you go into the market with that mindset of I want to be profitable, then you see you tend to now drift into greed and into revenge and into trying to force the market, and you're no longer interested in allowing the market play out whatever it wants to play out. So this morning I'm going to be speaking on that, so you can, once you have that awareness, then you see yourself, you don't tend to break into that particular area. And also this morning I'm just going to be showing you the last market scan we did, last week market scan we did. I'm just going to go through now so I can also explain some patterns that I spotted that gave me the bias, and then you see what actually played out. We're going to go into our, what's it called, into our Instagram page, and you see when it was posted, and then you see what actually played out today. It was on a daily time, so that you have the awareness, you know what is going on, what moves the market, because you see a lot of traders come into the market because of I don't know who they are looking up to. Because then I keep saying this: forex trading is not about a fancy life. It's not about what you, yeah. Because you see the new beast coming in now. They have people that they are looking up to. Why? Because you see someone that went and rented a car and rented a house and rented a phone and is showing you and using this fake empty phone to show you that yes, he is being profitable in the market. And then you coming in, you're not interested in following the proper channel or laying a good foundation for yourself so you can be consistent in the market. Because once you are not consistent in the market, you see yourself now, you will be profitable. Don't confuse consistency in the market with profitability. They are two different uh, uh, world, and there are two different scenario in the market. Once you come into the market with the aim and the target of yes, I want to be profitable, because why? You see someone, you saw someone, sorry, that okay, it is, let's say, your role model, okay, that you come into the market, you're looking up to, because why? You see him flashing the cars and flashing the what is not what it doesn't have. Because why is it doing that? It's trying to convince you and to uh, cajole you into coming to buy whatever he is selling. Because they say where a mass treasure is, there his heart will also be. So because why am I saying this? If my I told you my target is the market, so I'm not doing anything out of the market to convince you to believe me or to give you something. Because why? I'm not expecting anything from you. What I'm expecting something from the market, so I'm going to do everything possible to get what I'm looking for in the market. Let's assume now my target is you, that are the viewers and the individual. then what am I going to do? I'm going to do everything humanly possible to try and convince you, even if it's me buying renting a car, renting a phone, renting a house, just to convince you that yes, I have this thing, so I can get what I'm looking for from you. I don't know if you understand my analogy. So I can get what I'm looking for from you. But if my target is the market, I'm going to do everything possible. And it has to do with the right mindset, dedication, hard work, study, and know what moves the market. Then I need to stay in an environment of intelligent people that are also into the market, and so I can know what is going on in the market. So my focus is not going to be on an individual, but my focus is going to be in the market. So I'm not interested in flashing how much I just made today, because why? I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not interested in flashing a car I just bought or I went to rent, because why? I'm not interested in cajoling you or convincing you. So I'm not interested in doing all those things. What I'm interested in is what is going on in the market. How am I going to be better today than I was yesterday? How am I going to tap in? Is there an opportunity in the market? Because being consistent in the market, being consistent is not how would I say now, it's not a matter of luck. It's a calculated effort that you have to sit down and say, yes, this is what I want. Because if you come into the market, there's the danger of you having the wrong mindset coming into the market. Once you come into the market with the wrong mindset of, I want to be profitable now, because why? I want to meet up with the people that I'm looking at as my role model now, because I see what they do and how they do. So I want to live life like them. So then you see yourself, you're coming in, because someone that went and borrow money, or maybe was able to save, and then is able to fund an account and start trading. You see, when you started trading, you are very careful. You're very careful of that amount, because why? You know how you got that money. You know where and what you did, and the stress and all that you went through to get that money that you used in funding your account. Then you see yourself, you're very careful at the initial stage. But then, since you already have that mindset of, I want to be profitable now, I just want to meet up. You see, you are not comparing yourself with others. You want to meet up with this Mr. A, or you want to meet up with this Mr. B, forgetting that you cannot compare your chapter 1 of success with someone else's chapter 20 or chapter 50 of success. He has been there before you. So if you tend to drift into the side of these people that you want to meet up with and all that, you see yourself now, the greed start coming in. You see yourself now, you start fighting the market. A lot of people don't know, a lot of traders, they are fighting the market. They are fighting the market. They fight the market, and the market, they are in competition with the market. They fight the market, and once the market hits them very hard, they want to come back and take revenge. They want to come back and take revenge on the market. Like you have a peak now, you just made a peak, and then it goes against you, and then you are out of the market. Stop loss, you come back and you are very angry, instead of you now because why you are not looking at yourself, you are looking at others. That's the danger of what a lot of traders are getting themselves into, because why? You will see someone that doesn't even have what you yourself if you tell those people now to show you their account, their real account, not the one that they are faking with the demo account, you see that they don't have an account, because their attention, their target is you, is not the market. So they will do everything possible to target you, not the market. My target is the market. I'm focused on the market and want to know what goes on in the market. Like now, a few minutes from now, because of the Fed, they are announcing that we are very much interested in what the Fed is going to do, if they are going to increase the interest rate. And if they increase the interest rate, then maybe the dollar might be weakening. That's why I'm so much at alert now, monitoring my portfolio, because if they increase the interest rate, it's going to affect the dollar. But if they say, okay, let's leave it the way it is, then people can then have the free the leverage to go and borrow more money, because the interest rate is still the same. But if they increase the interest rate, people might be skeptical. So that's what I'm just focusing on right now, to see once the news where, so I know what. So my target is the market. I'm in an environment of people that are intelligent and trading the market, because Forex trade is not about the fancy life. It's not the people you see. No, wealth is what you don't see. So being consistent in the market, take this from me. You have to first of all have the right mindset, knowing that, oh, consistency is not profitability. If I come into the market with the mindset of let me be profitable now, then you see yourself, you're going to be happy, because then you see someone that is trade that you are looking up to, and because of that, you are now increasing your leverage just because you want to triple your money. And that's greed. You want to triple your money in the space of few minutes, without you knowing knowing what that person that you're looking up to, what is he even trading? Because look at what the danger of this issue, that a lot of traders are not, because I receive a lot of emails and messages. There was a lady I spoke to with some months or some years ago. She was also a forex trader. The first question she asked me was, after we spoke, and she now said, how did you become so consistent in the market? She's told me that she is struggling to be consistent in the market. She's struggling to be consistent in the market. She makes money and then the money is gone. She's not consistent in the market. Where I advise that is because you went into the market with the wrong mindset. And then we now drifted to another topic whereby I now saw that she was measuring up with someone else. She was measuring up with someone else that shows account. That's why I told you, for anybody that comes up online and starts showing you MT4 account, that he has money in this MT4, please just know that the person is not a forex trader. Quote me. If he wants to counter it, let him come. I'm available. He's not a forex trader. That's the way to. If a good investor and a forex trader, you should have moved your mindset. I told you guys, I moved my mindset now from just forex trading alone now to proper investment, to compound investment, so that I can build wealth. Because forex trading alone will not give you what you're looking for. That's just one way. That's a good way to start, but don't end there. That's my advice for people. Don't end there. So how do you become consistent in the market? First of all, you need to have the right person and remove your mind, remove your let your target be the market. Don't fight with the market, let your target be the market. Don't let your target be someone else. Don't be competing with someone else that is showing you what is not, because at the end of the day, what is what you don't see. Be focused on yourself. And because once you're focused on yourself, then you need to know now, okay, what am I supposed to be trading now with this account? That's why I always tell people to stay in an environment of intelligent people. What am I supposed to be trading now? That was what got me to where I am today. Because then I see someone, you have an account of $2,000. You are trading NASDAQ or S&P 500. What's your business with that? Or you have a 2,000 or 5,000 account balance. You are trading Bitcoin. And the worst part that you are even over leveraging, you are increasing your leverage like there's no tomorrow, because you just want to get the money now, just want to get everything now. So that's why I told you, once you can shift your mindset, first of all, from being profitable, like me, excuse me, once you can shift your mindset from my major target is being profitable, no, so you can shift your mindset from there, from being profitable first to, oh, this thing, I love this thing. I know I want to build income, I want to build wealth for myself, but without me coming, let me go first and learn this thing because I love it. I want to be here for a very long time. Because if you see a lot of traders, they are coming with a gambling mentality. They want to they are gamblers. I told someone, I said, if you need I'm just monitoring some trade and if you want to gamble, go to a casino and just go and gamble. No one will go to it, but don't come into the market with the gambling mentality. That's why you see a lot of people go in and go out. You are not profitable, you are not consistent, and once you are not consistent, you cannot be profitable. That's the danger. So once you have that right mindset of, well, okay, I want to be consistent in the market, then you have to remove being profitable first. And once you want to be consistent, what you're supposed to embark on at that stage is learning, studying. Let me know what moves the market. What am I supposed to know that will make me different from the other people? There are a lot of things that I know that made me that differentiates me from other traders, that when we sit and speak, if I'm talking, they know that, yes, because why I since I wanted to be consistent, then I now embark on a journey of study, of learning a lot of things. What am I supposed to be trading if I have this account? What am I supposed to be trading on if I have this account? What am I supposed to be trading on? Okay, now before we just go forward, let me show you. Let me just share the screen, and so I will show you the last market scan we did. Then we'll come back. Then I will show you what if the account that you have, are you supposed to calculate if you have some account, there are some a peak you're not supposed to be, instrument you are not supposed to be close to. There's some account, there's some instrument you are not supposed to be close to. Not because you see a lot of people, they say they are Nasdaq killer. If you see, how can you be? That's why they go in and go out. There are some instruments you're not supposed to be diving on. So I'm going to show you now. Then we'll come back. This is not a guesswork. If you follow our video, if you go back to the previous video, you will see I analyzed this chart. This one was there. It was on US oil. I analyzed it a few days last week, I think. So I'm just going to share the screen, and let me first of all pull it out. Where's our Instagram page? You can go to our Instagram with the link below. And so also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, like and share with your people. Whenever I do post phrase, chat, and signals on Instagram and Facebook. Please go there, like and share it with others so that they will have the right mindset, because information is power. Information is power. Information is power. We have the right mindset, because I told you guys I'm working on the deal now, because even I'm just with, I know the guy might call me at any time. I have a deal that I'm working on currently that is going to benefit a lot of Africans. It's going to benefit a lot of Africans, so that we can build a community of forex traders, for intelligent people that will take over the financial market. Like I told you, I say Warren Buffett is getting old. We need to bring in a lot of traders that will take over Warren Buffett. So I'm just going to share this thing. I'm going to, should I put this? So I just have one. Let me just have just one. Sorry, this must be Instagram. So that you see, so that you understand. And this is not a guesswork. I didn't just get here by chance. I had to put in a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of studies. As I told you, as I'm still studying, I was able to finish one of my assignments yesterday. It was a written assignment, and I just got another program that I'm doing with Harvard Business School that's starting next October, right? Yeah, October. Again, I just finished one. I'm still waiting for my certificate. Once I get it now, I'll also show it to you. Because you need to, because once you want to, you need to, once you meet with people, they want to know what you know, what you have learned, not what you say. This should be this one. I think it was, you can go and check it. It was posted. Yeah, it was posted. It was on the data. It was posted on let me just quick first of all share. I'm just tired and I'm just waiting, trying to monitor whose screen is going for. I hope you can see this. This is our Instagram page. Let me just zoom this thing out so it's a bit large. You can see. So this is our Instagram page. This was the. If you go now, let me just refresh first. I think we're missing something here. Okay, yeah. So this was this chart. It was posted on the 20th of September. That was last 2 weeks, Monday. This was the chart that was posted, and our bias was on a daily time frame, mind you. So our bias was a buy position. It was the US oil. We already taken our profit. I've closed it because of this Fed announcement and all that. So I've already closed it because. So this was a chart. So if you go now, you can zoom out on this one. You see what I spotted. I saw that I spotted the PSC align. There was an inverted hammer here. Let me take this one off. So inverted hammer, and I expected a pullback. Inverted hammer confirmed. So what I said long position on both 60 call for order, and we're pending a pullback. So it was a pending order that we were expecting to activate. So it was on the daily time frame. You can see here, it was posted on the 20th of September. So we're expecting a pullback. So if we go now to the live market scan, as you can see, we just hit. I stood there. I already closed my position. So what we saw, what actually played out now, we saw, because this was where the candle was when we posted it. Here, live market scan again. So this was the candle that activated our position. So that was on the 21st. I remember the next day our position got activated. Like if you go back to the video I posted, you see it was our position got activated with this. So we saw a pullback to activate with this candle here. Then we now saw a continuation now to go actually hit our TP. We're already closed. So if you see what I drew here, if you see my analysis here, there was a pattern building up since 2018 that I followed. And then this was now what gave me the bias. There are a lot of things I saw here, but this was my main focus, whereby I saw this was an inverted hammer at this level where this arrow is now, that confirmed the fall. And immediately we saw a fall that respected this line, where first we saw an inverted hammer here already. Immediately we saw, to respect this line again, a piercing a line. If you can see now, we saw here a piercing line, and then we saw another piercing line again. So this gave me a signal for a buy position. So I waited, and there was a build up to respect this level here. It was trading below this level, and then we now saw a breakthrough from this level after trading at this level for some days, because on the daily time frame. So after trading for this at this level for days, finally saw a breakthrough. So this breakthrough that we saw, since I spotted the piercing line here, I knew that yes, we are going to create maybe another inverted hammer at this level, or we break through at this level. So, but before I can confirm my bias to actually go create maybe another inverted hammer at this level here. This is the live market scan that is going on at this level here. Then I needed I needed a confirmation that, okay, let's see if we have a pullback to actually break at this line to give him a momentum to go and create maybe another inverted hammer here. So what we did now was our position now, we now set up a pending order to, that's what I drew this line, this what's this thing again? Drew this arrow to say, okay, we're waiting for a pullback. So I actually drew it. And if you go back to this thing, you see what I drew. I said a pullback, then a continuation. And that was what actually happened. We actually saw, because this was where this was where we were trading then. So we actually saw a pullback at this level to respect this line. Then we took a little dip, then immediately you trace the step, and then we saw a continuation for the past. This one was our position got activated on the 21st. Today is the 28th. So we saw 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 24th. So on 24th, this was on sorry, yeah. So you can see on the so we saw this one was on the 21st. We did it the analysis on the 20th. Then on the 21st we got activated. Then this one was on the 22nd, and this candle was on the 23rd, and this candle was on the 24th. Then that was on the Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, that was the 25th and 26th. Did not count because the market was closed. So this candle now continue on the 27th, which was yesterday, Monday, and today is now the 28th of September, which is on Tuesday, which is today. So you can see that this is not a guesswork. How did I come to this stage? How did I come to this level now? It's not because maybe I wanted to just be profitable now. I already collected our profit. We like I told you guys, we have over 18 live accounts, and I'm trying to make sure that we have like 20 before the end of this year. That's what I monitor. So I don't have time to now start selling the robotic signal that doesn't work. You and I know that it doesn't work. So what time would I have? I need to imagine now. I need to analyze chart to open on 18 different accounts. That's just on our forex trading. We have our investment portfolio, although that one is not that tedious, because it's tedious, but it's not like on everyday stuff or every week stuff. I just need to take like a 1 week out of the office, go on a vacation. I normally call it a workation, where I go to work. I maybe take like 50 different companies' financial statement that I go and study to know, okay, which company is doing well, which company is trading at their intrinsic value, right one, so that we can invest in for the long run, so that the money we are making from forex trading, from forex trading in general, we are not moving it now to our investment portfolio, where we now buy shares and leave it there for a very long time. And that's how you become very profitable and make good money from forex trading. This one you are making, people are making the $1,000, and you go and spend it today, and then you come back and you start struggling, and then once you see that you already failed, then you start looking for people that you want to sell robotic signal for, that you want to cajole them into forex to teach them and all that. The program, the contract that I say I'm having now is going to be for free, because I don't want to be indebted to anybody. What I'm doing now is giving back. This is what I'm doing now, is giving back the way I can give back. And how can I give back? Maybe through this YouTube video channel that you're listening and you know, okay, look, like what I just showed you now. And I'm going to show you something now on why you need to know what you're supposed to be trading. So then you that's what I'm doing. And the program that I'm having, I'm in the conversation with communication with a company. We are going to have people that I just want to start with 10 individuals. So once we are done with that, we are going to be receiving free lessons, free classes. So once we are done with that, then will not sign a proper contract, and I can now start doing advert and bringing people in so that they can come and learn. They should come and learn so that they can be consistent. Because once you become consistent in the market, then you see yourself now, you will now be profitable in the long run. Because one thing you need to know, because why, if you come into the market with the mindset of profitability is good. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's good to have that mindset of being profitable, but don't let that be your first priority. You understand? Don't let that be your first priority or major priority. Your first priority should be, I want to be consistent in the market. So how do I now become consistent in the market? What do I need to do to become consistent in the market? You need to embark on learning, because then once you're learning it, you now know that, first of all, my target, my concern is not on this person that I just saw on Instagram or I just saw on Facebook that is flashing a car I just went to rent that you are not aware of, or someone that is showing you a fake MT4 account of a funded a fake MT4 account of money on Insta. Then you know that your target, then your competition is not with them. Your competition is to be consistent in the market. So then now you now focus on yourself. You now focus on working on yourself. You now focus on developing the right mindset of, okay, now I'm in the market now. Good. What do I need to do now? What instrument do I need to be trading on with this account? Because I don't want greed to step in. What instrument do I need to be trading with this account? What do I need to do? Which books do I need to buy to learn and to read? Because you see, even even what I'm saying now, you still see some people, they want the easy way, and there's no easy way in this forex trading. The only easy way that these people, the only easy way is these people that are selling robotic treatment. You are their easy way because they can quickly get the money from you and you are done. There's no easy way. You need to have that at the back of your mind that this thing is not easy. But one thing I can promise you is, once you embark and get the right knowledge and you are not consistent, you will see at the end of the long run, you will not be profitable and you will be okay. And you cannot also give advice to people. So once you have that at the back, you say, okay, I am my own. I'm challenging myself now. What I need to do now is to study, to get the right knowledge, to know what I'm supposed to be trading, which market is so much volatile that I don't even need to go close to because of my account. Because if you are trading a volatile market, because you want to make the money. I don't know why just want to make. You are not going into a market that are maybe volatile. Maybe let's assume that like a Bitcoin or crypto. Now you want to go and trade in because look at the danger here. I'm going to show you something now. Okay, maybe let's assume that like crypto. If you are having an account, you are not even supposed to be trading forex on crypto because it's so much volatile. You can one scandal on crypto, on what's it called, on the crypto Bitcoin can crumble your account. So you need to know where you stay clear from. Now, I trade on crypto, on Bitcoin, but it's an investment. I told someone, I said, I don't trade Bitcoin with leverage. I own Bitcoin. I invested in Bitcoin, but I don't trade it with leverage because it's so much volatile. So I need to know which market, which instrument I need to be trading with the same account. So let's assume now, let's do a calculation now. This one is mathematical calculation. Let's assume now, okay, let's say you want to see the market that is much volatile that you don't want to go close to. You can pair it up together. You understand? You can pair them up together, calculate them, and that's why you need to know you need to know the mean. Let's say you want to calculate, okay, let's say S&P 500 or NASDAQ 100. Okay, I just came in, I want to trade on NASDAQ. I'm just giving you this instead. You can use it on any what's it called, any instrument that you trade in, maybe currency pair, you can use it on anyone. Then let's say you want to get the standard deviation of of a particular instrument, that to know that if this instrument is so much volatile, maybe now you compare maybe like this pair, and then you compare this pair, and you now see that, oh, this pair for the past 6 months or 5 months, look, let's use like what's it called? Which instrument? I'm just trying to check which instrument we can use now, so I can give you a better understanding, so that you know if this is what, if a market is not that volatile, you can at least be trading on that market and be getting little profit, little profit, because while you are still on the building a stage. Now, once you now get to a stage whereby you've now okay, say yes, do you know that there are some things, if you want to buy like S&P 500 is currently trading at what rate? Maybe let's say, I don't know, maybe 45,000 S&P 500. You know that, okay, 45,000. If you want to, you are no longer trading S&P 500. You are not investing in S&P 500. You are not buying a unit of, okay, 1 unit of S&P 500 without leverage. You understand that? Then you now leave it, because then you now see yourself, because now I don't use stop loss anymore you don't use stop loss on leverage, but on what I trade, not on first on my listing. I don't need leverage. I buy if a particular listing is trading at this amount, and I know that it's going to do well in the long run, I buy at this particular price now at the amount that is trading on, then I leave it there. I don't need stop, because if you are trading with high leverage and with an instrument that is highly volatile, one thing I always say to people, you know, when they say margin call. So people, once you are not trading with a high leverage, then you set your stop loss. The market goes against you, you hit your stop loss, you've lost money, maybe 10% of your account. Good. With that knowledge, you are going in, you are doing whatever pleases you, you go in again, the market goes against you, you're down 20%. You come back now, you want to revenge, and then maybe you now increase this thing. Then the market goes against you again, 20%. You see yourself, you are killing your what's it called? Your account. At the end of the day, you are totally out of the market. So that's what you need to know. Because I told you now that I bought S&P 500. It doesn't mean that you go and start trading on S&P 500, because S&P 500 might be very highly volatile. So it's for people that can afford it without using leverage. Even if you want to use leverage, you know, okay, you are not overexposing your account. Let's see now, if I want to, let me do the calculation. I'm just trying to, let's calculate. Let's use NASDAQ, or let's use S&P 500. Let's get the standard deviation. Now that's what I do to pair a pair that when I was coming up, then I'm not sure when I embarked on the journey of learning and started gaining a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. So what I started doing, I will know the pairs, the instrument that is highly volatile that I need to stay clear of, that will not be good for my account. And I need to know the instrument that is not highly volatile that will be good for my account, because then the target, then my target there was not to make this money at a glance, it was to build my portfolio. So what I was doing now, I will get the standard deviation of a particular instrument, and I will pair it, maybe let's say for the past 5 months. Let's use a 5 months moving average to get the standard deviation of a particular instrument. So what we do now is that okay, let me just show you. So this mathematics now is not difficult. It's what you can embark on, so that now you know if this pair, if you see maybe Aussie USD is highly volatile, or this one is highly volatile, but this one you see is building, there are some things maybe for the past 5 months, and it hasn't been just going, but then you see yourself, you can now build, then that's when you now see you cannot use what's it called now? A price action to know, because you can't price action. You cannot use price action for an instrument that is highly volatile. Let's assume that you are using price action for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is highly volatile. So let's say now you want to get the standard deviation of a particular instrument. First of all, you need to get the mean of the 5 months. Let's say we are using 5 months. Let me share the screen now. So we'll just quickly go through this and we'll call it a day. Which screen are we going to use now? I want to use, should we use Bitcoin? If we use Bitcoin now, let me just first of all wait. Let me see the screen that we need to use now. Okay. Let's use S&P 500 and maybe Nasdaq, right? Oh no, that was the same. Let's use S&P 500 and maybe so let's use I'm just trying to see which screen I can use now that is not occupied. Okay, this one is not occupied. Let's use this one. Excuse me. let's use this one, and maybe we'll just add what other instrument let's pay it with Bitcoin. We pay it with Bitcoin. Let's pay it with Bitcoin, so you know how to calculate your standard deviation. So let me share this screen now so we can go into the mathematics. So you see what's good right now is going for. So you see now, let's go now. So let's say this, I want to see if this market has been volatile for the past 5 months, or you can even go as far as 1 year, you can even go as far as 2 years to know, okay, how has this market been doing, how this market, this instrument be faring, should I ever embark on it based on my account and all that, account size, because you need to trade on instruments that are not volatile, they are not highly volatile, so that you can be building. And immediately as you're building, you see yourself, you're not building your confidence in the market. You're not building your confidence in the market. You will not be consistent in the market. Then you now start building your emotion. Greed will not step in, because while you are trading, you are getting your money bit by bit. You are not focused on people outside that are trying to cajole you to come and do this, and they want to confuse you and all that. You are just focused on yourself. You're focused on the market. You're focused on getting knowledge. You're focused on being around people that are intelligent, not these people that are looking for who to devour, because I call them. So now let's say okay, this is S&P 500. Let's say now you want to get the standard deviation to compare it with another pair, the standard deviation of another pair, to pay is this one more volatile or this one? Okay, this one is not that volatile. Within the 5 months moving average, it has been trading quite well, and then you can now use price action to now enter that instrument to say, okay, you go on a higher time frame to check, okay, as this pair has been building, okay, now you come scale down now to a lower time frame, and then now you start using the pattern that I have been showing. Like you can even decide to be using a bullish engulfing pattern, a bearish engulfing pattern to trade. Whenever you spot, you can go on the 30 minutes time frame or the 1 hour time frame. Whenever you spot a bullish engulfing pattern that's built up, confirmed, close, open and close and confirmed, then you can enter a trade to quickly take your profit. Then you start building. So let's assume that this is what you can also use for price action. Let's assume that you want to get the standard deviation of this S&P 500 for the past 5 months. Let's say for the past 1 year. No, 1 year will be too much. This video is getting long. Let's say 5 months. Right? Okay, let's say 5 months. It's fine. Let's use 5 months. Let's go now. Monthly. Let's go on a monthly time frame. Let's go on a monthly time frame. So you see now, S&P 500 has been trading. We saw 4 here. So let's say, okay, this 4 was May 2020. February, March, February, March 2020, there was also a continuation of so a little pullback here. So you can, even from this monthly time, you can see that this thing is not highly volatile. Okay, let's just go now to, let's check. This one is Bitcoin. But you can't, with just that, you can't confirm already that this thing, you see now, you see Bitcoin. You see Bitcoin, and you can see from this alone that this thing, wow, this thing is highly volatile. Look out from this all-time. What date is this one? Is this one Bitcoin? So, right? Yeah, this is Bitcoin. I'm confused. We saw from this, we saw it for this 4 would have crippled a lot of traders, because we saw from 64,713 down to what? Let me take my picture away from here. To 28,000. So first of all, you can see, I'm just using this as an instance. So once we go down to S&P 500, we want to calculate the standard deviation, to get the standard deviation now of this instrument to compare with other instruments, so that you know the one that is lower, so that then you now start going on price action, where you skimming on my next video. I will teach you on the price action and how you do it. But once you can get, that's what I use. Once you can get the standard deviation to compare with other instruments, and then you now know that, okay, this instrument is not highly volatile, then you can then now start going on price action. Not just people are saying, go on price action, what are you doing on price action? How can you trade price action on Bitcoin? No. So you need to know, and there are a lot of instruments that are highly volatile. Now let's count this candle. Let's say for the 5 months from, we are in okay, let's just use from August, June, July. Sorry, yeah, August. Okay, sorry, August, July, June, right, and May and April. So let's say we start from April to August. That's what we are calculating, the standard deviation. We want to get the standard deviation. First of all, we need to get the mean of this instrument. That's the mean that we now use to divide and get. I'm going to take it step by step so you don't get confused. So let's say now, what this one is April. So what was this instrument closed at on April? It closed at 4,000. It closed at April. It closed at 4,193. Okay, so we'll go now to, we saw in June, what was it? Closed at 42,000 in June, 42,000 in July. We closed at 43,408. July 4308, right? Then in so was this one July one? No, in June. What? No, in May. In May, which was this one, that was when it closed at 4,200. In June, we closed at 4308. In 4308. Then in July, we closed at 4,000. In July, 4,410. Then in August, we closed at 45,000, right? August, 45,000. So now to get the mean of this a particular instrument for the 5 months moving average, what we need to do now is to plus them together: April, May, June, July, August. April, May, June, July, August. Yeah. So we'll go now to your calculator. You see, it might, you see the way I'm analyzing it, you might look, this thing is very tedious, but once you now learn it, you now have the mindset to go into learn properly and get this basic knowledge, you will now see yourself, everything that I'm doing now will now look like a child's play to you. You will now see then that you can do it. It's not beyond your reach. You can do it. Just have the right mindset of learning that you want to come and learn. So let's now go now. I'm very careful now because of this. So let's go. Let's get the mean now of this thing. Once we get the mean, now we'll not get the deviation. Then we'll square it, and before we get the variance, and then we'll not get the standard deviation. So now you cannot pay it to that. You see, okay, this one is more volatile. So let's see, 4,193 plus 4,220 percent. 4,190 plus 4,200 plus June 4,308 plus July 4,410 plus August 4,3. No, 4,5 or what? August we got 4,5. 4,5. Divide it by 5 because now we're using the 5 months. So you don't divide it by 5 to get the mean. It will give you equals to 18,000. So your mean now will now be equals to 18,017.6. That's now your mean. Now you've gotten your mean. So once you have this mean, then what we now do now, we now need to use the each month minus the mean. What I'm missing now, we'll minus August, so we'll minus April from the mean. We'll minus August from the mean. That's what we now use now to get the deviation. So let's say our mean now is 18,017.6. So if we minus this from April, which is 4,190 equals to, so the deviation now for April will not be 1. Will not be April. So for April now, April will not be to get the what's it called, the deviation of the mean, because you need to get, first of all, you need to get the mean, you need to get the deviation, you need to get the deviation squared, then you need to get the variance. That will now give you the standard deviation of that particular instrument. So if we say now to get the deviation, I will say April will not be April was 4,193 minus the mean that we just calculated now. The mean was 18.017.6 equals to, so for April, the deviation for April will not be, if we minus the April the amount, that's the amount for April where it was trading, which was 4,193 minus the mean, which is 18,017. It will give us 13,824.6. Now you do the same with May. So May was 4,200. So you now say 4,200 minus 18,017.6. 200 minus 18017.6 equals to. So the mean now, the mean for what's it called? The mean for May is minus 13,000. So the mean now for April for May is equals to minus 13.817.6. That's for May. For June, let me just run through this now. For June, equals to what did we get for June? 4308. 4308 minus 18,017.6 equals to 4308 minus 18017.6 equals to minus 13,709.6. Then we go now to July. What did we do for July? 4410. Pardon me, I didn't plan on doing this. I just wanted to give you so you have the knowledge and moving forward. So minus 18017.6. Maybe on the next video we can have a normal discussion so that we build intelligent people, not just people that are interested in selling you robot minus 18017.6. People don't know what's moving the market. They think forex trading is just about open your trade and then that's it. Open your trade and then that's it. August. What did you get for 4533? 4533 minus 18017.6. 18017.6. So for August now, we have 13,484.6. Now we now have the what's it called? The deviation of this instrument now, of this S&P. This is a live market now that we're using to do this analogy. So we now have the deviation. So now let's now get the deviation squared now. How do we get the deviation squared now? Now we now square. We now raise power 2. This instrument, the deviation now, we now raise to power 2. Let's say what did we get for the first one? Was okay. Let's start from this. Let's raise power 2. 1 point. Okay. Let's just go. Let's start from April now. So our deviation now for April is 13,000 minus 13,824.6. So if we say minus 13824, right? 0.6 raised to power 2 equals to, now we have 191 point, we'll add this one to it, 191.12. So let's say for the deviation squared, we're not squaring it now. For April now, April will be 191.11. No, let's 1 911. Okay, for April we have 911 for now. So for March, for May, we now also square it. What result would you get for May? Minus 0, 8, 1, 7. Maybe it was maybe like 0.6 is the power 2 equals to, for May is 190.92. 190.92. You can see it. Then for June, what did you get for June? Minus 13, 7, 6, 9.6 is to the power 2 square root is now we now for June 189.61, right? So for July, minus future, I'm not supposed to even put so that you can see me. Let me just do this here. So for July, we now have minus 13607.6 over 2, 185.16. Then August, the last one, will not be, what's the deviation? Minus 134.6 square root. August is 181.88. So now we now assign this number now. We have now the, what's it called, the deviation now of, sorry, we now have the, what's it called, the deviation squared now of all the instrument for those months for April, May, June, July, August. So now we now need to get the variance of this instrument. So what we now do now, we now add up everything we got from April. Now let's add it up. We now get the standard deviation. Let's calculate everything now together. This one was so to get the what's it called, the standard deviation now, because we already have this one is January. April is 191.112, 190, 190.922, and the other one is 189.612, right? 612, yeah. July is 185.167. August is 181.832. So if we now get all these things now together, let's say from April now, which is 191.112 plus 190.922 plus 189.612 plus 185.167 plus 181.832 equals to 909. So now our deviation squared now will now be 938 938,645. That will now be our deviation squared now. It will now be what? 938,645. So now we now have our deviation squared. Now to get the variance now, we will now divide this same amount, let's say equals to this, we now divide this same deviation squared now with our square root, with our initial 5 moles moving that, which is 5. So if we divide this now to get the variance now, first of all, we divide this with 5, it gives us the answer. So our variance now becomes 187,729. That's now our variance. Now to get our standard deviation now, we now need to square this variance now to get our standard deviation, which will now be, let's say, square root. What's that is now? 729 equals to, we now have 433. Now you see now within the 5 moles now, it is a 4. Let me just 433.228. 433.28. That's the amount now, US dollars. You see now that's the amount for. So now you now know that, okay, between that 5 moles, that 5 moles, S&P 500 has been trading. Let me share this screen now. Where's 295? So now you now see that, okay, between that 5 months, it doesn't be that volatile. 433. That's okay. It's not that bad. It's not that okay. 500, 400. This is not that 433. That is not that highly. It's highly volatile. But now you now compare it with another instrument that maybe you now got the standard deviation. Maybe the standard deviation is 100. Okay, that one is lower. So if you're comparing the two now, you now see that, okay, which one is higher, which one is lower, which one is not that highly volatile. So that's now you now get which instrument is trading is highly volatile. But if you see that, if not for time, maybe on the next video, if we compare this now to maybe get the standard deviation of Bitcoin, if you compare it now, you see the difference will be extremely clear, because Bitcoin is highly volatile. So now once you are able now to get this and get this and get this together to measure up with this one, okay, this one is not that volatile, this one is not that volatile, you now know, okay, which instrument you're supposed to be trading. I'm not even going to go close to what's it called, S&P 500 or NASDAQ or this or this or this. So you now have that idea to know what you're supposed to be doing in the market, not just because of Mr. A did this. You also want to do it because Mr. B did it. You also want to do it. Then you see yourself, you fall into depression in the market, which you won't be proud of. You won't be proud of, because there's a lot of opportunity in the market. It's just you being able to know what moves the market that will now make you productive and prosperous and profitable in the market. So you need to go into go into the market with a learning mindset. Sorry that I just had to rush through this. I wasn't even planning on doing this, because when we got to as we're speaking, I'll go to that. I just said, okay, let me maybe on the next topic, you can leave your comment below. Let me know what you think. On the next topic, then I can give you how we can compare. Maybe on our next video, we'll compare. That's what we'll do. Let me just write it down. Next video, standard deviation to calculate. So in the next video, we'll compare it. Maybe we'll compare this currency. Now maybe we'll go on a currency pair. We'll compare it, then we now know that, oh, this and this and this is what I'm supposed to be trading, and this is what I'm not supposed to be trading. Why? Because of my account balance. Why? Because my confidence is not that strong in the market. Why? Because my emotion, I've not been able to work on my emotion in the market. So now I need to be trading bit by bit so I can build my account. My focus should be on my account. It's not about now being you. If you are not up to the stage of now, what's it called? What's it called again? Investment, buying, investing in a stock like that. What I also I invest in S&P, like in a stock. I buy and leave it there. I don't trade on first on the MT4 because it's highly volatile. Just the same way with Bitcoin and the crypto funding, because they are highly volatile. So you don't go just because Mr. A is trading Bitcoin. I told you I bought Bitcoin. If I say I bought Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin is trading at $35, 35,000 per unit. I bought 1 unit from it. If it's traded at 1,000, I bought 1 unit from it. So you need to know all these things. It's not about just diving into the market. You're fighting the market. You're fighting the market. You're fighting the market. You're fighting the market. And at the end of the day, the market will definitely overwhelm you and going to defeat you. But once you come in with the right mindset, you're studying the market, you know when the market tune is not right, you're supposed to just relax and be watching people play out. And when the market tune is right, you come in and then you are not profitable in the market. So I hope this video helps you. Don't confuse consistency with profitability. What you need to be concerned about is how to become consistent in the market, how to become consistent in the market, how to become consistent in the market. Once you're consistent in the market, you see yourself now, you will not be profitable in the long run. So have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to this YouTube channel, share this video, share with your friends, like and comment. Let me know what you think. Then we can have, I want us to have a discussion very soon. So we have, we know and get intelligent people on board and take this market by storm. So have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye for now.